This was a struggle for me this morning. Cuties. Yeah. So here's here's the overlay. Cuties now released on Netflix, and this is a film that, any way you slice it, sexually exploits children. You can watch the actual clip, and I did this morning, and I felt so gross. This is another example of a chasm. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes versus 6% from the audience. Wow. And you have people on the left right now with Cuties. Again, when we said this was a slippery slope, they're trying to say this is actually a film that explores the hypersexualization of youth and the innocence of, it doesn't matter, I'm sorry. You don't get to explore those topics by sexually exploiting children.
Yeah. No. Well, the pedophiles watching are not like, oh, it's a comment, never mind.
Doesn't matter. What are they trying to say?
Yeah.
What is their scene motivation along with their overall motivation? And what sort of creative substitutions did they make? No, I think they're thinking...
It's hard with the sound off and their pants off.
So it is I didn't want to show you guys because I didn't want it, if there happens to be, and out of the millions of people who watch, I'm sure there's one lone NAMBLA card carrier in there.
Yeah.
So I decided to at least try and reflect just how revolting it is without breaking the law, as the Netflix producers did. And even Brendan and Bryce will come in here. Yeah. Let's have them come on in and show you exactly in person. Cuties, exactly what it is that you guys would see on Netflix. All right, guys, let's start there. Keep in mind, picture, you have to use your imagination. They are 8-year-old girls. And let's hit the beat. You guys start twerking. Cuties. Get into it a little more. What's that, Brendan?
I don't know if I'm comfortable doing this.
Well, no, this is the whole point. They do it on Netflix. It's fine even with the rating system. Just, you come by it honestly. Look, you got abs. Start twerking. Let's hit the beat. Imagine you're a 7-year-old girl. Jeffrey Epstein's what?
What is the...
Okay, the point here is that they are sexually exploiting young children. We are trying to point out the moral repugnancy of sexually exploiting people for views.
Right.
Yeah, we're doing good work overall.
But we're doing that by sexually exploiting people?
For views, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But you're not minors.
I'm gonna...
Okay, all right. Well, even Bryce, you can give us a couple.
Give us some thrusts.
See you, Brendan.
Wow, that was epic.
6-year-old girl.
Yeah.
He's going to keep going.
This track is long.
That's
all I practiced.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. I
really
appreciate it. That was practiced.
Wow.
That man owns no ass. It's like Yoko Ono. It's just two thighs with a split.
I never noticed that about Yoko Ono.
By the way, those outfits are far less revealing than the 7, 8, 9-year-old girls are wearing in Cuties. You know what I want to do? Because let me read actually for you real quick. This is a review from Daily Beast, where it talks about people across the political spectrum have expressed rightful concern about the streaming giant's choice, blah, 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 blah. In Cuties, it talks about how she's a Muslim girl, the film. It's a Muslim girl who comes from a Muslim household who then has a bunch of friends who get her to start twerking and stripping, effectively.
Although they describe it as conservative.
Right. They describe it as that. It says, Ducoure's film rigorously examines the ways teen girls mimic the images they see on social media, the ones that tell them they're... So you would think, oh, this is a judgment. This is a condemnation of them trying to imitate the Cardi B's of the world, the Nicki Minaj's, whoever the latest fitness model is selling MyFitT. But no, of course, listen, do you think that any leftist reporters, the people who give it a 90% rating, would judge the current hip-hop culture, which is by and large African-American, and say that's sexual exploitation? No, never. What they say is what they see on social media, the ones that tell them their bodies are all wrong, their presentation's too childish, their lives unremarkable. Yes. So let's have children stripping, reenacting sexual sex, acting out sex because of fat shaming.
Oh my God!
I think children should be childish. I don't know if that's a crazy thought there.
Yeah, I know.
Preserve some of their innocence.
And couldn't they, if they were trying to like find a voice, couldn't they have like found an expression that was being a ballerina, maybe ballroom dance,
finger painting,
something other than getting on the pole? I mean, couldn't we have something like that to help them get in touch with
one of the
their
ways
inner
that you would have
feminism?
just done this is you go interview the influencers who are doing it and asking them, you know you have young fans. Are you encouraging? I mean, this is a very classic way to investigate people who are influencing children without showing the children.
Yeah.
And exploiting the children
There's no
further.
acceptable. I was so uncomfortable watching. I'll tell you this: the two things I can't really watch are torture porn, and then anything that involves the sexualization of children. I just feel gross.
disgusting.
I can't not picture that kid's parents who allowed them to take part in this.
You know what's really interesting is rather than showing, a successful woman, taking care of her business, taking care of a family, like honestly, CNN is doing right now, showing the first woman CEO of Citibank. They're out there showing what you could do if you want to be a WAP.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be
Not
something
a
if you don't
WAP. That's
see
for
it.
Italians.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have a WAP.
Oh, well,
Right.
I think
Well,
you meant
exactly.
something
They've
else.
talked
Pardon
about
my
representation
nomenclature.
and the importance of representation in media. Yeah, exactly. So they know what representation does to modeling. It makes people do stuff.
How do they pitch this to the
They know
young
what they're
kids'
doing.
parents?
Yeah.
Like,
I
listen, this
know.
is going to be a film. We want it to be clear. This is a film about the coming of age of young women and the sexual pressures and exploitation that are forced upon them. Oh, really? And how are you going to do? You're going to do that by judging these influencers and people who actually thrust these kinds of sexual pressures upon them? No, we're not. We're going to take a different tact. But we do think that the message will be very clear, and you will see it. It will be tastefully done with proper artistic measures taken so that people understand this is not about the sexualization of children, but that young women can be anything they want to be. How do you plan to do that?
Right. And less.
And by the way, that's not an exaggeration.
No.
I'm talking about 8-year-old girls in cheeky shorts and sports bras going, "Bleh!"
And film critics love it.
And film critics are like, well, this is the kind of messaging we need.
Yeah,
So let's
exactly.
see how young women, what expectations we have of them. If you run for president and lose, you don't have to offer a concession speech. You can sit in the back room and cry. And if you want a Netflix special, screw being Carly Fiorina and a CEO of Hewlett Packard. Just rub your nether regions on an RE20.